Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're embarking on a journey that goes far beyond the simple use of a terminal. We're stepping into a genuine digital time capsule. We'll be talking about a protocol that not only challenged the web as we know it, but is today, in the full swing of the cloud and social media era, experiencing an unexpected revival as a refuge for those seeking a minimalist, content-focused alternative. We're talking about the Gopher protocol. Now, fire up your terminals and let's get ready to discover an entire parallel universe of the internet. To fully understand Gopher, we need to make a mental leap back to 1991. The World Wide Web, invented by Tim Berners-Lee just 2 years prior, was still a niche project at CERN. In this context, at the University of Minnesota, a team led by Mark P. McHale developed Gopher. The name was a triple pun, a nod to the university's mascot, the golden gopher, the term gopher, slang for someone who fetches things, and a perfect metaphor for a system that burrows to bring information to the surface. Gopher's philosophy was radically opposite to that of the nascent web. While HTTP and HTML were betting on a hypertextual nonlinear model, where every document could link to infinite others in a chaotic and creative network, Gopher embraced a rigid hierarchical model. Imagine a file system, main menus branching into submenus, which in turn contain text documents. No graphics, no complex formatting, no scripts, just pure text and an extremely orderly tree structure. This was not a technological limitation, but a precise design choice. Gopher privileged efficiency, speed, and findability of content. In an era of slow connections and low-powered computers, a Gopher client could retrieve and display a menu in a fraction of a second. It was the perfect protocol for organizing large archives of documents, like those in university libraries and research centers, which indeed were its first and most enthusiastic adopters. Between 1991 and 1993, Gopher experienced exponential growth. It became the dominant information system in many academic institutions. Pioneering browsers like Mosaic, the very one that sparked the web's popularity, natively supported both HTTP and Gopher, treating them almost as equals. However, 1993 marked a fatal turning point. The University of Minnesota, fearing it couldn't sustain development costs, announced its intention to request a licensing fee for the commercial use of the Gopher protocol. In the open, collaborative culture of the early internet, this was perceived as a stab in the back. Institutions and developers, worried about having to pay to use a network standard, immediately began migrating to the World Wide Web, which CERN deliberately kept free and unencumbered. This was the first and most severe blow. The second was the web's superior flexibility. HTML, with its ability to integrate images and, later, multimedia, offered a commercial and entertainment potential that Gopher, by its very nature, could not match. The net became cool, visual, and accessible to everyone. Gopher, with its textual menus, began to be seen as boring, technical, and antiquated. Its decline was rapid and relentless. But Gopher did not die. Like a seed beneath the snow, it survived in a digital hibernation kept alive by a small, tenacious community of enthusiasts, nostalgics, and researchers who appreciated its technical elegance and simplicity. A milestone in this rebirth came in the year 2000, when the protocol specifications were finally released under an open-source license, removing forever the specter of licensing fees. This enabled a new wave of development for modern clients and servers. Today, the Gopher network, often called the Gopherspace, is a lively, if niche, ecosystem. It has become the ideal refuge for the digital minimalism movement. In a modern web dominated by algorithms, invasive advertising, privacy tracking, cookie banners, and pages that weigh tens of megabytes, Gopher offers a radically different experience. Just information, presented clearly and without distractions. Search engines like Veronica, very easy rodent-oriented net-wide index to computerized archives, continue to index Gopher holes, the community term for Gopher sites. Updated estimates indicate the existence of several hundred active servers worldwide, hosting an incredible variety of content, from personal blogs called flogs and historical magazines like the Epic Frac magazine to vast archives of literature, historical software, technical guides, and discussion communities on every topic imaginable. All right, at this point you're surely thinking, this is all fascinating, but how do I experience it firsthand? let me take you on a practical tour to explore Gopherspace. Let's start with the most authentic way, the one purists prefer, the command line client. If you use a Linux distribution like Ubuntu or Debian, installation is lightning fast. Open your terminal and type two simple commands: sudo apt update followed by sudo apt install Gopher. Within seconds, you'll have everything you need. Now, to immerse yourself, simply type Gopher, gopherproject.org. What appears is not a website, but a textual menu. You'll be faced with a list of items, each preceded by a symbol. A folder will have an icon, a text document, a dot, a search engine, a magnifying glass. The navigation is as intuitive as it gets. Use the up and down arrows to move between options, press enter to select, and the left arrow key to go back, exactly like navigating a file system. It's immediate. No manual needed. If the idea of the terminal is a bit intimidating, there are more friendly alternatives. A modern, well-crafted graphical client is called Lagrange. It offers a clean visual interface with proper fonts and a clear tree structure while maintaining the essence of the protocol. It's a great entry point for beginners. Now, where to go? What are the main streets of this city of text? Gopherproject.org, which I just showed you, is the central square, the perfect map to start with. Another essential address is gopher.floodgap.com, a hub run by one of the most active custodians of this ecosystem. And then there's gopher.qx.org, another goldmine full of technical and literary resources. But the real magic isn't in the list of addresses. It's in the exploration itself. By clicking through those folders, you'll discover that Gopherspace is not a static museum. You'll find vlogs, personal blogs, where people from all over the world share reflections, travel diaries, technical projects, all recently updated. You'll find communities dedicated to very specific interests, from retro programming to astronomy. And surprisingly, some servers act as gateways, allowing you to even read content from modern services, like certain news agencies or even parts of Reddit, but presented through this super simple, fast, and distraction-free lens. This is the true revelation you get while navigating. The absence of graphics, ads, and pop-ups isn't perceived as a lack. On the contrary, it transforms into a space of pure concentration. Pages load instantly, the interface responds immediately to commands, and you get a clear, liberating feeling of having total control over the experience. It's a tangible, almost physical reminder of what one part of the internet could have been, and perhaps, in some remote corner, still is. At the end of this journey, it becomes clear that Gopher is not just a technological relic. It is a philosophical statement that remains deeply relevant today. In a digital era characterized by cognitive overload, the race for attention and complexity often for its own sake, Gopher stands as a beacon of voluntary simplicity. It reminds us that the essence of communication and knowledge sharing can reside in pure text, organized with logic and respect for the user. Its hierarchical structure, while on one hand limiting the creative serendipity of hypertext, on the other offers an antidote to informational chaos. In Gopher, you don't get lost. You explore with a purpose. It's an invitation to slow down, to read in depth, to privilege content over container. Studying Gopher today is not an exercise in nostalgia. It is a critical act. It forces us to confront the question, what have we sacrificed in the race towards a web ever richer in media and interactivity? Have we sacrificed readability, speed, privacy? The simple pleasure of finding a piece of information without being targeted by dozens of competing stimuli? Gopher survives and is reborn precisely because it offers answers to these questions. It is proof that an alternative internet is not only possible, but it already exists, it works, and it's accessible to anyone willing to seek a corner of quiet in the digital noise. Its most powerful message is perhaps this: technological progress is not a straight line. Sometimes looking to the past is not a step backward, but a strategy for finding precious ideas we hastily abandoned, ideas that could inspire a more balanced and human future for our networks. Thank you for this journey into the textual heart of the internet. If this world has piqued your curiosity, you have but to open a terminal and type Gopher, gopherproject.org. The adventure, silent and essential, awaits. See you in the next exploration.